What a Wild Spirit Brings by Lil. Chapter 25. For 2 days it seemed a good plan, but something hit her. As much as she wanted to protect her brother, she had to uphold honor. She couldn't just abandon her training with the wild ones. She entered the wilder and flew back to the castle. She wasn't even into the fortress yet when a pool of water started running along the outside of the building. It formed into Trixian. How she could stand facing the ground, looking up at her, was an anomaly, but Lil was glad she had come back if only to know it could be done. You finally return. I've been busy in life. I am traveling. Traveling? Where to? I cannot tell you. I might be late getting here, but I will strive to. The wild one laughed at her. Or I can simply follow you back to wherever you are. Please don't. Why so serious? I am traveling somewhere I don't want to be found at. If you insist on following me there, then I won't come again. Trixian became solemn. All right, but you must not go near other spirits. Now, what has Blaxian taught you? Well, she told me about the Court of Hedges, and about always going back to it, and that each person finds their own way to leave it. She told me to avoid other spirits, and that many are dangerous. I promised not to enter dreams until trained, and she explained that attacking a spirit here won't actually kill their body, only drive it mad. I know she can do many things I can't. So can you, obviously. That is all? Pretty much. She only taught me 2 lessons. I ran away. All right. Then today you will learn to control what you are wearing. Control what I am wearing? Have you paid no attention to your clothes here? No, actually. She laughed and said, the last time when you left, you were bare except some very erotic lace. Lil felt her face turn bright red. She'd been thinking the woman was attractive. Wait. Light! Yelped Lil, and she put her hands over her body. Watch what you think about, little brave one, Trixian said, laughing again. What else have I worn? You have worn Entha undergear, an odd dress, armor covered in spines, and a nightgown. Light, I never noticed it all. It is all right. Most don't at first. To control what you are wearing, you must control your thoughts and the effect they have on your self-image. I always am a wild one. I am always dressed as a wild one. Whatever I think of, I know I am a wild one. I am so many things. What do you wish to be? I wish to be something my mother would be proud of. Look at what you're wearing. Lil looked down to see a garment that was a mix between a white dress with black roses on the hems and Entha gear. It had the puffy sheer pants under a skirt, but the skirt was actually just the length of a coat that was very Entha in cut. The coat had slits on the sides up to her hip, so she could maneuver easily, and the collar went halfway up her neck. Under the coat was only a white Entha chest wrap. She felt regal and proud in it. It felt good. It was like she was somehow both. She lifted her head and smiled. Keep that thought, no matter what others come to you, and always. This is what you shall always wear. I do not expect you to be able to constantly at first, but in time it will be like breathing to you. Thank you, Trixian. For this, Lil said, motioning over her new outfit. You made that. It looks good on you. I mean, showing me this. I never knew I was this. I've been transforming so much lately. I thought someone took everything from me. My friends tried to make me wear dresses and frilly things. Henry tried to make me a beast. I lost myself somewhere. Thank you for helping me find myself. Again, it does look good on me. It is me. Lil had tears in her eyes, and she was so happy. I am glad you take it so to heart. It is a terrible thing to lose oneself. I know that tragedy, and am relieved you are conquering it. Your mother refused to wear wild one clothes in the wilder. She always wore the garb of a sand maiden, and it always had roses and keys on it along the neckline. It always amused my older sister. Lil laughed, thrilled to be like her mother. Thank you for the lesson, but I must go back and rest. I have a way to go still. I will come back tomorrow night. All right, I will see you then, Lil. May you ever find allies in water. Why is it shade sometimes and allies at others and always water? They represent different things. Water is peace. Shade means shelter and physical needs being met. Allies represents finding friends, loved ones, and one's own self. Shade is a polite term and always appropriate. Allies is spoken of among friends. Light, I've just been saying whichever to whomever. I think I've been saying shade. Trixian laughed at her, and then dissolved into water and washed down the wall and away. Lil flew back to the court of hedges and slept normally for the rest of the night. She continued northwest. The terrain was just more rocks and evergreens, mountain after mountain, but almost the whole of Andrus was mountains. It was part of the Shield Mountains which guarded the southern world from the evil Shealum. She understood the northern countries had more trouble with Monsol and Kurik, and even worse things. Hewers had it worse, supposedly, because they had the greatest gap from the mountains open to Shealum. The country was at constant war on their east side. Hewers was far northwest, south of Locke, the most northwestern country on the continent. She'd never been to any of those places. Before running away from Timble, she had known no other place. River Mountain was actually many mountains surrounding more mountains inside of two great rivers that joined into Wide River and overspilled to form another river going south to Maestra, the Mink. The rivers came from the same spring in the mountains, forming a loop around the mountains. The only ways in were through little river towns with barges. It was one of the most remote places in the world, and Lil was glad she was headed there. Maybe she could find some rest there. She had had enough adventure to suit her for a while, and she was still glad she had run away what seemed a lifetime ago, but she wanted to find water. Yedem sounded like a peaceful place.